Hello, I'm Caydor,
I'm Integer.
and this is the Spell Something Another Quick Guide.
I don't know what number it is. I don't even know what day it is.
Well, for me it was Tuesday.
Was?
I don't know. Is it actually Tuesday? I was just making a joke.
It's supposed to be Tuesday now.
I could have swore it was Monday.
It was 5.5 hours ago.
Not in Denmark.
Are we talking about the small country just outside of Britain? Or are we talking about the annexation?
There's a difference?
Yes. The annexation has only been Tuesday for 6.5 hours. But it hasn't been known as an annexation of Denmark in quite a long time.
I'm not good at geography.
You have no idea I'm talking about, do you?
No.
I'm talking about Greenland. It's in the same time zone as Maine.
Honestly, I was just trying to get across that international date line where it was going to be yesterday, and I was guessing that Denmark was somewhere near Germany.
It is? Somewhere near Germany, yes.
Okay,
We like stairs.
so I'm terrible at geography. We know this, but I've gotten better at anatomy.
The hip
See.
bone's connected to the...
No. See, according to my stethoscope, I'm a scapula. But this girl I like, she's tibia, and it seems we just can't connect.
No. Yeah. Wait. Are you talking about the sun signs or the moon signs? For those of you who are out there who apparently did not know, the standard horoscopes are based on the sun's relative position as viewable from the Earth and the constellations. However, there are two forms of measuring which constellation falls under the horoscope. One is from the sun as normal, and one is the moon. Yes, that's right. You can find your horoscope with the moon. However, it's a rather weird process, and you tend to end up with odd things like two Tauruses and a Sagittarius all being Pisces.
Yeah. It's not good to do it with the moon. And thanks for taking my joke that I've been waiting I think a month to actually use, and
It was a good joke. I just thought I'd tell everybody that there are two forms of the horoscopes. That way, if they don't like today's horoscope for their standard one, they can go look at the one for their moon.
I like mine. It tends to be weirdly accurate. Though I suppose that could just be the whole generalization process. Apparently you can Sherlock scan anyone by giving a general vague description of a person, and their brain fills in the details that actually fit and ignores the ones that don't fit.
I did not know that. So who would you think of if I said she's a super freak? Super freak?
Poison Ivy from Batman.
That's alright. Yeah.
With Harlequin as a close second.
Harlequin was awesome.
Shot in the head, and you're to blame.
I'm not sure you can see it from here, but he was standing in front of a shortcut.
Yes, and I actually think I do use it. I was trying to decide if he was actually going to come for me after I shot him in the face. I don't think he knows how to use stairs. Unless he has a line of sight of you on the stairs.
I'm not sure if he knows how to use food.
Well, he's a butcher, so...
Well, there's a table full of it, and he just doesn't eat it.
Might feed it to his pets. I have the power.
I don't need the power. I don't know. Just sounded good. So how would you feel about moving?
Moving where?
Not where. When?
Huh?
Exactly.
I'm moving right there.
Not where. When?
There is a win.
Who?
Whom?
You know, as I'm getting bored at this time period, I thought we should move. But then again, people might get bored of us not being here to provide them intellectual? No.
International relations.
I was going to say entertainment, but intellectual is not a very good word for that.
No. I'm pretty sure we're stuck in this time period. Cause
I wouldn't be too sure. I saw this red gumball machine in the Coney shop on Admiral.
wasn't ours like purple and green with like dragons or something like that?
I'm pretty sure the gumball machine itself was red.
It might have been. I don't remember. All I know is even if we find the right gumball machine, we still have to find and kick the ass of the guy who has the token, and so far I haven't seen any emissaries of chaos.
But
some of the politicians seem pretty close, but
we had a bunch of extra tokens at one point.
no, we didn't.
Yeah, we did, because whenever you first got the book, we got like 37 tokens that went with it.
That were spread throughout the land. It's 31.
Throughout the land? I could have sworn he handed them to us.
Well, he handed to us, but when we got sucked into the book, they got spread to his emissaries. And with the chapter 31 that we haven't gotten to yet, we use the last one that we actually exchanged for. So you're stuck with us. Unless Chaos decides to fuck with us again.
In which case, I have already found the gumball machine. Hey look, everybody, treasure!
There's some kind of ember.
A large one at that.
No, I don't think you actually need... Or maybe we do get something to plus 10. Sword, staff. Sword, staff. Which to use to murder with.
Club.
I really hated your club.
Why?
Absolutely no reach.
You're telling me.
I felt most of the creatures we fought had bigger dicks than that club had.
The club wouldn't have a dick.
No, but I'm pretty sure that the Treants would have a bigger dick than your club.
Probably. Did you know the Great Club has a very bad strength scaling? And yet requires a good amount of strength?
Yeah, some of the stuff was weird like that. Like, I think you need a high amount of strength to use, like, the Moonlight Butterfly Sword.
Only 16.
Ah, then it's the intelligence that's high.
Yeah. But it has an amazing intellect.
Yeah. I know some of them, like you need, like, 50 strength to use it, and it doesn't scale with strength at all.
Dragon King's Greatsword.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I don't know if you saw, but I actually shot that guy up there, and that's why he's down. Normally he'd, like, try to drop down on you when you came by. But I saw a fat guy hanging in the rafters, and I'm like, I should probably shoot him, because he's probably a trap.
Also, if you turn up this here, there's a room full of barrels. If you break them all, you'll feel very satisfied. If you don't, that's okay too. Anyways, that guy you just set free is a pyromancer. He teaches you how to throw fire at things.
If you don't already know.
He teaches you how to throw more fire at things, even if you do already know.
I don't think I picked up any of his spells. I think I thought about it, and it may have been useful to pick up, like, Great Fireball or something like that, but...
Hear that? May have been useful. Anybody following this guide? Go talk to that guy.
Well, free him anyway, because it's very likely that you may have started as a sorcerer, and it's still helpful to have those fireballs on hand, though I think I used them less.
Here we are. A good shortcut. Around to the right, there's a pathway to a treasure.
Which I believe I get. I'm just looking around to make sure there's no enemies, because I'm going to be shooting at this rat for a little while with a bow and arrow, and I really hate to get stabbed in the ass while doing so.
Been scorned one too many times by enemies from nowhere?
Yes and no. Let's just say that there's a very good reason I don't turn human, like, at all in this game. So far. One time on the Dragon Bridge, I was shooting arrows at the tail, and all of a sudden, you've been invaded. Stab in the ass.
That's what I hate about this dimension. Every 20 minutes I get the hiccups.
I haven't had the hiccups in a little bit. And I think that's pretty well all you need to kill down there. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. So anything that remotely looked like Evil Jello got an arrow in its lobby mass. You got an arrow in its bass. Breathe. Breathe. Air is the answer. Air is your friend.
I don't know what it was, but it made me laugh. And I still have the hiccups. In case you haven't noticed by now, shooting the rats through the gate does not work.
It doesn't. You can stab them with a spear, but I haven't been using a spear. And you might get lucky with the sword if they're close enough, but... And yes, it was absolutely necessary for me to leave in the fact that I shot all those things that played absolutely no part in the narrative. I couldn't have cut them at all.
It's just so that we have extra time for talking. But speaking of talking, the Demon's Great Hammer, the prize you can get for defeating the Asylum Demon without picking up your standard weapon, it requires, like, I think 38 strength, and its strength scaling is D. It doesn't even have very good damage.
Nah, I think it's alright if it gets upgraded, but it's more of a novelty thing. It's somewhat decent if you have 38 strength to start out with on your first playthrough.
That's happening. You're seriously better off going for standard club with no reach, upgrading it to like plus 15.
Blatant editing. Yeah, honestly, I ran around this place for like an hour and a half before I remembered where I needed to go. I hate this place, and if you're not doing this build, I would honestly advise skipping it. But unfortunately, we need a part of an armor set that is down by the boss of this place, so we must suffer.
I love this place. If you're not doing this build, I'd go down here anyway.
I wouldn't. The sewer level in most video games is generally one of the worst levels, and this is probably the worst of the worst. Even worse, using this path to take to the next area, the swamp, puts you in the worst part of the swamp. So we also go through this to get that piece of armor, and then I go and take the path that you would use to skip this entire place if you don't need that piece of armor. The only good thing if you're doing this build is you can get some green shards here, but you're honestly better off killing the leeches in the swamp because they don't drop them often, but I think they drop like 5 every time they do. So even getting 1 drop, you're going faster than here.
Oh, I tried grinding these guys. The blobs outside this room. And I never did get green. I got blues.
You don't get blue shards, you get orb. You get large.
Yeah. I got large blue. Like I got blue titanite chunks.
There are no blue titanite chunks. Blue titanite ore breaks down into green titanite chunks.
No, there's no green titanite chunks. There's green titanite shards. And there's large shards. There's chunks of
Oh, the blue chunks break
blue,
down into...
red, and green. Or blue, red, and white.
And the blue chunks break down into green shards.
Right.
But I haven't gotten a blue here. If I could get blue chunks here, I would have used it to get farther in.
Well, I tried grinding this. I was at this for a very long time.
I think I did like 10 run-throughs of this, and I edited down most of it, but I show you at the end here, which is why it's probably slightly longer than it should be. If I edited out a lot of the tedious stuff, it'd be 15, but I want to make sure you saw how many times it took me, and that it would, in fact, drop sometime.
Sometime is a relative term. I was at this for 3 hours.
I was at it for 30 minutes.
I was at it for 3 hours. And the only thing I found was 1 blue titanite chunk. I never found a green. I never found a standard.
I found large regular titanite, which seems to drop anywhere you can find green. And then I found green, not realizing that in like 6 zones you could actually buy it from one guy. But I like him because of the twinkling, because I really hate grinding those freaking clams.
I love a big sword. And seriously, those clams, I smacked it like twice.
I made sure to show every time I got a backstab on that guy, just so you'd have something entertaining to...
Never did figure out how you could stab with a katana. Doesn't seem like it'd be a very good stabbing weapon.
It's got a decent point on it. Yeah, I don't know why I switched to the longbow and the offhand either.
I said I couldn't figure out how you could stab with it. I didn't say it's not possible to stab with it. The way I figure it, you can stab with just about anything. That was a good one. I like the angle.
But don't sweat it if you don't get it to drop. I always go by... a 10-run philosophy. Basically start at the number 10, and if you go through 10 consecutive runs without getting the drop you need, grinding something, go off and come back later, because this game can be tedious enough without grinding the same place for 3 hours.
Or just don't worry about doing this at all. There are 2 other places you can get green shards pretty easy. And, good job. And you can get them from a giant.
I wanted to make sure that, one, it was possible, and I showed that it took me like... It was less than 10 runs, but it still took me a little while to get it.
Alright. Well, this has been Integer and...
Caydor. I am Caydor. Caydor.
He's not really Caydor. Caydor's out today. He's out sick. This is his stunt double. His name's Bob. Bob gets paid for the amount of times he said, it's Caydor. He's not getting paid well today.
Caydor. But
Anyway.
I'm not just Bob. I'm Bob the Builder. Caydor can fix it.
Yes, he can.
Scoop, Muck, and Dizzy. Caydor too.
Okay. Anyways.
Caydor.
Bye now.